fact. Do you believe you were wrongfully terminated from your job when you were writing?
Tonight, the jaw-dropping Oval Office clash between President Trump and President Zelensky.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't have. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
The president and vice president complaining Zelensky wasn't thankful enough. President Zelensky pushing back forcefully, and things went downhill from there. Zelensky's motorcade leaving as a joint news conference is abruptly canceled. The minerals deal President Trump demanded unsigned. It comes just days after Trump basically called him a dictator as the war rages on 3 years since Russia's invasion. The new details in the death of Gene Hackman and his wife, what happened with his pacemaker, and what authorities are now ruling out.
Push that like
the
button.
CDC putting out its first advisory on measles, the new states with cases, and the rush to vaccinate children.
Donald Trump done pissed off. What is your name? My name is Snag. How you doing? Push that like button. Push the like button. Ain't nobody pushed that like button yet, so you can't come in and ask me no questions if you don't push the like button. Please do not start off like that. How you doing? Push that like button.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Donald Trump pissed off the
Good
president.
evening and welcome. We start tonight with that photo op that devolved into an uncomfortable spectacle the whole world is digesting tonight. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance publicly unleashing their anger on Ukraine's President Zelensky. In raised voices, Trump and Vance dressing down the Ukrainian leader, accusing him of being ungrateful and of disrespecting the United States. The clash between allies occurring as the leaders met to carve out a deal for Ukrainian minerals prized by the United States. Tension spilling over when Zelensky challenged Vance over his belief that diplomacy is the path to peace. Before it was all over, Zelensky was literally shown the door. White House officials say he was asked to leave. A press conference featuring the two presidents abruptly canceled. President Trump later posting on social media, Zelensky is not ready for peace. Our Gabe Gutierrez has the story.
Tonight, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky leaving the White House early and empty-handed after a stunning shouting match in the Oval Office.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Barely an hour before, the visit had started with a cordial handshake, a joke, and kind words.
It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close.
Both leaders had planned to sign a deal giving the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals, designed to pay back the U.S. for billions of dollars in aid, seen as a crucial step for a possible broader peace deal between Ukraine and Russia.
I think that President Trump on our side.
But Zelensky also disagreed with Trump, arguing the U.S. must offer security guarantees in any ceasefire deal.
That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees.
Soon, the meeting took a sharp turn when Vice President Vance mentioned talks with Russian President Putin.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
Prompted Zelensky to interject that Putin had broken a ceasefire before.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
The exchange devolved quickly.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean. And don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
you.
Far more than a lot of people said
very
they should
respect.
have.
You said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today,
meeting, have you said thank you?
even today,
You-
but
You're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a
but
ceasefire?
I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That wasn't
what
with
is-
me.
President.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
The argument that would typically unfold behind closed doors, escalating in front of cameras. This was the reaction from Ukraine's ambassador.
The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Minutes later, a White House official tells NBC News that Zelensky was asked to leave. A private lunch and joint press conference canceled. The president posting Zelensky disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office.
And I would say it didn't work out exactly great.
Disrespecting
From
the United
his
States
standpoint.
of America.
He very much overplayed his hand. That was not a man that wanted to make peace.
Late today, Zelensky responding.
I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support.
Here in Washington, Republicans are saying the president stood up for America, while Democrats are calling this an utter embarrassment. Tonight, it's not at all clear when or even if Trump and Zelensky will speak again. Lester.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. Now to Richard Engel, who has reaction to the stunning moment in Ukraine and Europe. Richard, what are you hearing there?
Well, Lester, the world just watched as President Trump humiliated Volodymyr Zelensky in the White House. Zelensky was there to sign this mineral agreement. He was going there after having been insulted by President Trump for a week. Nonetheless, he went there, he was ready to sign, and things quickly devolved. The White House saying it was because of Zelensky's attitude. He's getting some support from Europe. Russia is celebrating with a senior official saying that finally Zelensky got a slapdown. Zelensky tonight in an interview says he still wants those security guarantees from Washington. President Trump has made it clear he does not want to give them, that asking them is overplaying his hand. Lester.
Richard Engel tonight, thank you. Now to details just in about the death of Gene Hackman and his wife. Investigators say Hackman's pacemaker is revealing a key clue as they rule out one theory in the case. Liz Kreutz reports from Santa Fe.
Tonight, new clues into the mysterious deaths of actor Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and their dog. The sheriff revealing that Hackman had likely been dead for at least 10 days before a maintenance worker found the couple Wednesday afternoon in their Santa Fe home, pointing to data from his pacemaker.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th, 2025. That is a very good assumption that was his last day of life.
The sheriff also saying that an initial autopsy revealed no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning in either body, and that investigators have removed several items from their home, including heart and thyroid medications, Tylenol, medical records, 2 cell phones, and a calendar.
We're doing a timeline from the time of death and the autopsy and the results, and we're going to start working our way backwards.
According to the search warrant, 95-year-old Hackman and his 65-year-old wife were found in separate rooms. Arakawa found in the bathroom with prescription pills scattered on the counter, her body showing signs of mummification.
Based on what you know about the conditions of both the bodies, who do you believe died first?
That's a very hard thing to determine, because that's a question that we want answered.
With so much still unknown, tonight more tributes to the 2-time Oscar winner pouring in. Dustin Hoffman calling him a giant among actors. Unforgiven co-star Morgan Freeman writing that working with him is one of the personal highlights of my career. After retiring, Hackman and his wife have lived a quiet life in Santa Fe, a place he reportedly grew to love while filming westerns there earlier in his career.
We are heartbroken over this. It's an end of an era of this generation of actors, and that's heartbreaking as well.
And Liz, officials just wrapped up a press conference. What else are we learning?
Well, Lester, there's so many more questions and answers right now. We still don't know how the dog died. We're still awaiting the toxicology reports. They're hoping that data from the cell phones they took from the homes will help them determine who they may have last had contact with or who may have died first. But they say the couple was very private, making this whole investigation even more challenging. Lester.
All right, Liz Kreutz tonight. Thank you. This evening, a new warning from the CDC about measles as cases spread to more states. The worst outbreak in West Texas, where 20 people have been hospitalized. With more, here's Sam Brock.
Why is it that
shocking for many of you that have been just hearing the news and tuning in?
Kennedy when they put Kennedy over the health department, we got a major measles breakout. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Miss Erica, hi Snag. Been catching up on some of your videos. You are the best I've ever seen. Jehovah God has given you a beautiful gift. Your work, you are blessed. Thank you. Just sitting back, chilling, drinking on some coffee by myself. Ain't got nobody else. I need me a sexy companion. I can't find one of those to save my life. I'm really messed up. I'm really messed up because I don't drink and I don't like a woman who drink. I can't stand a drunk ass woman, damn liquor coming out of her pores and shit. Like, I love to eat, I love to smoke, but I need to find me a dreadhead woman. I think a dreadhead, she gotta have dreads or something. The women with dreads, I don't like women with dreads. Them lazy bitches, they don't want to do their hair. So they just let their shit nap up. Can't even wear your shit. Can't even wear no styles with dreads. You know what I'm talking about? Push that like button. Yeah, you know I'm a hairstylist, so anybody that you see wear dreads, most of them just, it's either they couldn't afford to get their hair done, or their hair was hell. They call hell with their hair. Their hair was what you call it? Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. How you doing? Push that like button. Oh, my life ain't shit. I wish I had somebody just to lay across me. Rub my chest. I feel so soft. This is like a pillow you can't buy at the store. Lay your head on my pillow and just relax. That's what I be thinking sometimes. 'Cause this was made for you. Hey, how y'all doing? Push that like button. Don't nobody like me. I ain't nobody to like. I don't know why.
Complicated by the mysterious domino effect of power failures along the East Coast as well as around the East.
Tonight, there are now more than 160 measles cases in 10 states, with Kentucky and Washington reporting their first patients. But Texas has seen by far the most infections, 146 statewide, and the death of a 6-year-old child. Wow. San Antonio officials warning hundreds, if not thousands of people may have been exposed by a recent infected visitor.
I want to take this podium to send a plea out and urge the community. We say this in every phone call we get. If you are sick, please stay home. Don't go to the movie theater. Don't go to, large restaurants.
How infectious is measles?
Measles is the most infectious virus that we know of right now.
Dr. Ronald Cook oversees public health in Lubbock, Texas, a city where 20-plus children are currently hospitalized.
That's a significant number. You know, we consider children and young adolescents, young teenagers to be our healthy patient population.
One mom in Lubbock who grew up in a developing country telling us why she's rushing to get her daughter vaccinated.
I got measles as a kid because there was no vaccine. But here in America, basically it's free and accessible, and yet people choose to, ignore it.
The CDC just issuing its first advisory since the outbreaks began in early February, including this reminder: vaccinations remain the best defense against measles infection. Dr. Caitlin Baston is New Jersey's health commissioner, another state that's seen an outbreak.
It's critical to me that families can trust the information they're getting from health professionals. So I will tell you, again, vaccines are safe and effective. This is not up for debate.
And late today, Austin officials also announcing their first measles case since 2019, a baby who had traveled outside of the country, and Lester was too young to be vaccinated.
All right, Sam, thanks very much. The deep job cuts continue from across the federal government, now impacting the weather agency NOAA as veterans speak out as well. Here's Shaq Brewster.
Tonight, new pushback to President Trump's efforts to downsize the federal bureaucracy. A federal judge saying the Office of Personnel Management does not have any authority whatsoever to lay off probationary federal workers, but it does not rule out layoffs in other ways.
Save the civil service!
Protesters today at a Detroit Veterans Medical Center.
I was very sad. I was very confused.
Among them, Kara Oliver, a Navy veteran who was a recreation therapy assistant and probationary VA worker at the hospital. But Tuesday, she was terminated.
I'd help people be able to learn to be able to walk again.
2,400 probationary VA employees were abruptly dismissed this month. The VA says they were non-mission critical positions, saying the cuts will save more than $181 million a year.
My thoughts went to the veterans, because then I started thinking, I'm the only person that provides these services in this facility.
Meanwhile, more than 600 employees let go today at NOAA, the federal government's climate monitoring agency.
These are folks who monitor extreme weather.
A Trump administration official says no mission-critical functions were impacted. The White House says it's keeping the president's campaign promise to cut spending. The president vowing to protect veterans who make up roughly 28% of the civilian federal workforce.
And we take good care of our veterans, so we're watching that very carefully, and we hope it's going to be as small a number as possible. But we are having great success in slimming down our government.
Meanwhile, a second email asking federal workers to list their weekly accomplishments is slated to go out this weekend, according to a source familiar with the plans. Lester?
Shaquille Brewster, thanks. In 60 seconds, the verdict in a major murder case, plus the Pope's sudden setback. What we're finding out about his health. We're back with a health setback for Pope Francis. The 88-year-old's respiratory condition worsened today. His airways suddenly constricted, making breathing more difficult. Doctors gave him oxygen. Pope Francis has been in the hospital since mid-month with pneumonia in both lungs. And tonight, guilty on all counts. That's the verdict in the murder and hate crime trial of a landlord charged with fatally stabbing a Palestinian-American boy after the October 7th attack by Hamas. Maggie Vespa joins us now from the courthouse. Maggie, the jury only deliberated 1 hour.
Yeah, Lester, the jury clearly convinced by the prosecution's argument that 6-year-old Wadia Al-Fayumi and his mother Hanan Shaheen, who survived, were targeted because they're Muslim and Palestinian. Arguing back in 2023, their landlord, Joseph Shuba, became obsessed with the October 7th attacks by Hamas.